Hey everybody, I'm professional disc golfer Dion Arlyn, play for Team Discraft, and out here at beautiful Milo McIver State Park practicing for the Beaver State Fling later this year, and just wanted to take a moment and share with you what I keep in the bag, as well as how I put the bag together and kind of what I do with disc selection. So let's start with my putters. I carry 4 with me on the course. I have my 2 main putting putters, which are the Pro D Ringer. I've got a first run and a prototype, a lot of season on both of those. I like the low profile grip to the Ringer and a nice straight flight and a decent amount of stability. This is a first run Ringer, which is the main putter at the moment. Pretty beat in, a little bit of turn to it, good for my turnover approaches as well. I also use the DGA breaker, which is a variation on the Ringer mold. Nice premium plastic. These are good for off the tee as well as approach shots from 200 feet and in. Don't throw a lot of forehands with them, but I have occasionally. Mostly these are going to be straight to hyzering backhand approach shots or straight tee shots in the 200 to 250 foot range. So that's what I putt with and that's what I approach with. And I also like that, having a similar mold for every second shot on a course. If I'm playing a lot of par 3s, I know my second throw is usually going to be either with my putter, putting for 2, or my breaker with an approach shot. So depending on how I'm playing the course or what I'm doing, very likely I'm going to be using the breaker or the Ringer on the second shot. So I like that mentality. I like having the same mold for everything. After that, I have a few mid-ranges in the bag. I'm a big fan of stability, so I do use the titanium drone for a lot of forehand shots and the Z drone for a lot of forehand shots. I like carrying 2 copies of a lot of the molds that I use in the bag. Typically, one will be a little bit more seasoned, the other a little bit more stable, and besides that, I like just having a backup of the discs that I use more frequently on the course in case I were to lose one. So I have a titanium drone and Z drone, and that's going to be with forehand shots from 200 to 300 feet. My backhand mid-range lineup is pretty classic. We've got the Meteor for those turnover shots, we've got the Buzz for the straight shots, and the Wasp for the stable hyzers. So all 3 see equal amount of use. Just depends on what shape I want to throw, and that's going to be with backhand mid-range from 250 to 350 feet, depending on the shape. Again, we've got ESP Meteor, Z Buzz, and this is the Big Z version, and Elite Z Wasp. For the fairway drivers, I have a pretty good mix. I've got the Z Mantis for backhand long-range turnover shots. I've really liked this disc in the last few months. During the off-season, I use this a lot for backhand practice, trying to dial in my accuracy. And this is a very smooth, gentle turning shot. So great for, 350 needs to finish to the right, and a forehand might not have the juice to get there. So I like that for the backhand. I use the Z Surge for most of my forehand fairway shots. This slightly more beat-in copy is going to go very straight, even a little bit of turn to it. So I like it for straight forehands in the woods, in the tunnel, for up to about 320 feet. The newer Z version is just a little bit less beat in, so it has a good strong hyzer finish to it. I use the Surge SS as my main roller disc. This is a great understable distance driver. I love this one for throwing as max distance rollers as I can. When the ground permits, this is the disc that I'm using for almost 100% of my rollers. Every now and then, if I need a shorter, more controlled roller, I'll use that Mantis. Otherwise, this is what I roll. Forehand or backhand, distance, everything. This is the best disc for that. And of course, Z Predator. Got 2 copies in the bag. This is a little bit more seasoned. It goes pretty straight. Good for backhands and forehands up to 400 feet. And then this Z copy with nice flat top is very stable, great for the wind. Hyzer forehand shots, hyzer backhand shots, big flex shots. This is the classic Predator. So this is the one that you're going to see out on the course pretty regularly. When it comes to distance, I have one mold that I really favor, and that's the Force. And so I've got a lot of copies of that in the bag, so let's run through those. The original Big Z, or not Big Z, but Pink Z Force. This is about as far flying as it gets. Great balance between glide and stability. So this is what I'm going to be throwing for maximum distance on most of the shots that permit. Unless there is obstacles or ceiling involved, I'm going to be throwing this disc. Got the DGA Hurricane, which is a variation on the Force mold. A little bit straighter, a little bit more turn to it. So a little bit more glide than the regular Z Force, and it's going to go a little bit straighter. Got another Z in the bag just for straight shots. This one's kind of beat in. Not as domey, it's a little bit flatter. So for long forehands, maximum distance forehands, this is what I'm going to be using. Otherwise, just a gentle turning Force in the bag. And Titanium Force, this one's nice and poppy. This is the most stable copy in the bag at the moment, brand new, 167. It's a little bit lighter, but with the amount of dome, this is the most stable copy in the bag. Not going to turn for any reason. Great in the wind, great for maximum distance flex shots. Great disc right here. And I have been experimenting with something other than a Force. This is the Z Crank. It's the first run. As I understand, this is one of the more stable versions, and that does surprise me. This is a very understable disc. I use it for great long-range turnover shots or downwind. So if I have a choice, I'm going to go with the Force. If I've got good conditions, I might bust out the Crank for some extra distance. It is a little bit faster and has great glide, but doesn't see a lot of throws unless the conditions permit. Far as So that's the bag, and those are all coming out of the Gorilla Boy Simeon, which is the best bag ever made, as well as being a chair. Great capacity, great comfort, and Gorilla Boy out of Wisconsin makes amazing bags, so thank you.